Leave it.
Back in July 2011, an anonymous YouTube channel uploaded a short 4-minute video. The channel usually didn't post anything creepy, but this one was a spooky exception. It started off pretty normal, just someone with a head-mounted camera hiking through a popular spot in eastern British Columbia. But things quickly took a strange turn. What started as a typical hiking vlog suddenly took a dark and unexpected twist. Out of nowhere, something scared the guy so badly that he took off running, clearly panicked and trying to find a safe place. Out of nowhere, a massive creature appeared. Something that looked kind of like a grizzly bear, but way bigger and way more terrifying. Without hesitation, the guy bolted, running for his life. Throughout the clip, he's panicked, constantly looking back to see if the thing is still chasing him. Then, the video just cuts off, no explanation, no ending. To this day, no one knows what happened. Was the creature actually after him? Did he make it out? His identity and fate are still a mystery. Years later, people who have watched the video are still creeped out by all the questions it left unanswered. Meet Darren, the creator behind the YouTube channel Funky Prepper. His channel features everything from interviews with interesting people to survival adventures and practical prepping tips. But in this video, Darren and his friend Mike take a different route. They head out to spend a quiet night in an old remote shelter tucked away in the wilderness of Wales. It's March 13th, 2025. After a long hike through the stunning Welsh Highlands, Darren and Mike finally reach the isolated shelter they'll be staying in. Right away, they notice it's a mess, dusty, full of debris, clearly abandoned for a long time. Before settling in, they clean up and try to make the place a bit more livable. What they don't realize is just how strange the night is about to become.
It was an absolute mess. It was awful, and we've just spent 45 minutes giving it a real good tidy up. Don't jump. It's a long way down, bro. Wow. Wow, what a place.
Darren and Mike are in great spirits. With the fire crackling and the warmth slowly spreading through the old shelter, they relax, enjoy a drink, and take in the peaceful atmosphere. For a while, everything feels perfect. The stress of everyday life fades away, replaced by the soothing sounds of nature and the occasional pop of burning wood.
Now is the time to chill, and it's overdue, dude. He's already chilled, look at him. Oh, dude, it's been mental. And do you know what? We was walking around outside, and who remembers these glasses? Ravenwear from the 70s, old school, baby. Oh wow. Yeah. What's that? Yeah. It's weird because it's one of the times that I didn't bring any beer.
Even though what they heard made no sense, Darren and Mike tried to stay level-headed. They nervously laugh it off, convincing themselves it was probably just a sheep wandering near the shelter. They had seen a few earlier that day, but deep down, they both know the sound didn't quite match anything an animal would make. Still, they press on, trying not to let their minds run wild. But whatever made that noise wasn't finished. As the night gets darker and colder, things only grow stranger.
Yeah, certainly is.
What was that? What? No, meal.
Hey?
What do you mean?
There's something out there. I'm gonna go and have a look.
I've
No.
keep them going, you know, mate, honestly.
This time, the sound wasn't coming from outside. It was coming from upstairs. Grabbing their flashlights, they quietly made their way up the creaky stairs, bracing themselves to face someone or something. But when they reach the upper floor, there's nothing. No one. Completely puzzled, they head back down, only to find something just as unexplainable waiting for them.
A rolling noise. Dude! Door!
It's cold.
Jesus! Oh my god, that
Did you
was...
open that?
No! I went upstairs. I need to sit down. I'm a bit done in, mate, at the moment. I just need to get my head together. Look!
What?
Look!
What?
Snap! It's moving on the ceiling! Dude! How is that possible?
It's laughable. What?
No, we're both sat here.
The rest of Darren and Mike's night was surprisingly quiet, though actually getting any sleep was nearly impossible. With adrenaline still surging and every creak or gust of wind putting them on edge, they managed to make it through the night safely. What do you think Darren and Mike came across in that remote shelter? Was it the presence of a lingering spirit or something far more sinister? On the night of February 7th, 2024, Bear, the adventurous YouTuber behind Exploring with Bear, sets out on a solo overnight trip deep in the woods. He's hoping for a night full of eerie moments, but what unfolds goes far beyond anything he imagined. After arriving at his campsite, he sets up his tent and gets a campfire going. The forest is dark and eerily quiet, adding to the suspense. As night falls and he settles in, the silence is suddenly shattered by strange, unexplained noises, making it clear he might not be alone after all.
Did some woots. I did a Bigfoot call for the first time. I think it was pretty... We check out the offering tree, maybe the lake. So
After about 20 minutes of silence, with no more strange sounds, Bear decides it's time to investigate.
all right, offering tree. Let me try to get this light a little better too. There we go. That's more better. That's more better.
He heads into the dark woods, his flashlight slicing through the thick blackness. But just 5 minutes into his search, something unexplainable happens.
What the heck was that? That sucker came flying in.
A branch suddenly crashes down in front of him as if it had been thrown with force. Choosing caution over curiosity, Bear quickly retreats back to his campsite.
Do you hear that?
Bear is suddenly jolted awake by a loud, unsettling noise coming from deep in the woods. His heart pounds as he clearly hears footsteps, people moving right outside his tent. They're close, too close. Only the thin fabric stands between him and whatever or whoever is out there.
Oh. It's throwing stuff at the tent. I'm armed.
Something or someone starts hurling objects at his tent. Each thud against the canvas sends a jolt of fear through him. Lying there with his heart racing, Bear waits, tense and silent, for the right moment to make his escape.
It's been about 5 minutes and I haven't heard anything. I'm gonna take this opportunity and leave right now before whatever that was. Sounded like there was two of them. There's people, creatures, whatever that was. I am leaving before they come.
Fueled by a surge of adrenaline, Bear makes a run for it, leaving his gear behind in his rush to get to safety. The next 7 days pass in a blur of fear and unease, but when he finally returns to the campsite, he discovers something even more terrifying.
It's been about 7 days since the camping trip now, and everything. I left everything here, my chair, my tent, everything. And I've just now mustered the courage to come back. Man, I am so glad we left. Man, I'm so glad we left, guys. Look at that. Look at that. Frickin' cinder block. Someone destroyed the frickin' tent. I wonder if they thought I was laying in there when they threw that block on it. Man, that would have messed me up.
The memory of that night still lingers, haunting him long after he's left the woods behind. A video popped up on a relatively unknown TikTok account that usually shares spooky stuff about wendigos and other creepy forest creatures. While the channel had posted eerie content before, this video was on a whole different level, titled Wendigo Encounter. It was way more disturbing than anything they'd uploaded before. It started with a man and his dog stuck inside a remote cabin. He was nervously shining a laser pointer out the window, trying to spot the Wendigo, but just a few seconds later, something truly terrifying happened.
Watch him. This shit's crazy. Dudes are everywhere. Where the heck is it? I can't see it. Hey, hey. Knock it off. Dudes are everywhere. You guys hear it? 12 o'clock. Watch them, bros. Watch them. I think they are.
Things took a terrifying turn when it became obvious that something or someone was on the roof of the cabin. You could hear it crawling above, with eerie creaks, doors being tugged, and windows shaking like something was desperately trying to get in. It felt like the creature, the shapeshifter known in legend as the Wendigo, knew someone was inside, and it wanted them. The man was clearly terrified, his heart racing as he tried to understand what was happening. But one chilling question still hangs in the air. Was it really a Wendigo, or just a really well-done hoax? A TikToker went camping overnight in a forest with his dog. When he arrived, the area was totally empty. No people, just nature, which at first seemed like a good thing. But suddenly, the forest went completely silent. No birds, no insects, nothing. As many know, that kind of silence can mean a predator is close. That's when things started to feel strange. His dog noticed it too and became fully alert. Feeling on edge, he took out his phone and began recording.
Good girl.
The atmosphere was already unsettling, and the silence only made it worse. But after a short while, something happened. A light briefly appeared in the distance, just for a few seconds, but there were no sounds, no footsteps, no voices, nothing. It might have been a person, sure, but the fact that they kept their light off most of the time and stayed completely silent suggests they didn't want to be seen. And that's what makes it so creepy. Why would someone be out in the middle of the woods at night trying not to be noticed? What were they doing out there? Xander Budnick is no stranger to outdoor survival and camping, but even for him, this night was something he couldn't have seen coming.
It's supposed to rain all day, but it looks like it's not going to rain. I checked the weather radar again. It looks like I'm right in this clear patch between two systems, so I'm right in the sweet spot to miss it. I see lightning far off in the distance over here, and every time I check the weather, it's showing me that there's less and less chance of it raining today. Great, but not great. I think it would have been fun if it was raining a bit. But hey, that's kind of lucky. Kind of lucky. Now I can just have like a nice sweet night out here.
It was meant to be a peaceful, relaxing tarp camp in an unfamiliar spot during spring. Everything was fine during the day, and by evening, Xander settled in to get some rest. But while he slept, his camera picked up strange sounds in the distance. At first, they were hard to make out, but over time, it became clear. It was a man screaming. Xander woke up the next morning alive, unharmed, and surprisingly unfazed, having slept through all the eerie noises from the night before. Flex, famous for his bold exploration videos, decided to take things up a notch by camping overnight in a deserted caravan. Right away, the place gave off an eerie vibe. Personal items were strewn about, half-eaten food sat untouched, and furniture was flipped over, hinting that someone might have recently been staying there.
Tonight's camping place
is an abandoned caravan. Yep.
An abandoned caravan.
As night fell, Flex tried to relax and cook himself a meal, but it wasn't long before strange disturbances started. At around 2 a.m., Flex began hearing movement from inside the caravan, objects being shuffled around, like someone was rummaging through the mess. He stayed completely still, unsure of what was going on, but the noises just kept coming. Eventually, exhaustion got the better of him and he slipped into a restless sleep, but the nightmare wasn't over. The noises came back, this time even louder.
I think we're all right. Quite a good sleep. I'm going to go back to sleep in a second.
Morning finally arrived, but with no answers to the strange events of the night, Flex quietly packed up and left. Still, one question lingered. Who had been inside the caravan with him that night, and what were they after? This chilling clip comes from the YouTube channel Whole Other Level Outdoors, run by Daryl, a lifelong nature enthusiast. Growing up immersed in the outdoors, Daryl spent his days hunting, fishing, and enjoying the peace of the wilderness. On October 24th, 2018, Daryl and his father ventured deep into the forest for a quiet getaway, far removed from civilization. The plan was simple: share some quality time around a campfire, away from the distractions of daily life. But as night fell, the forest's calm was shattered by a strange howling sound, something neither of them had ever encountered.
Man, we're here in camp. Do you hear that?
At first, Daryl and his father assumed the strange sound might just be a coyote calling in the distance. But as the howling grew louder and drew nearer, curiosity gave way to unease. After Daryl uploaded the footage, the comments section lit up with speculation. Some viewers believed it was a common animal distorted by distance or acoustics, while others were convinced it was something far more mysterious. Theories ranged from cryptids, like Bigfoot, to the infamous Dogman. No one could reach a consensus, and to this day, the true source of the sound remains unknown. But one thing is certain: that eerie night left a permanent mark on Daryl, standing out as one of the most unforgettable and unexplainable experiences of his time in the wild. Joe and Elliot, popular YouTubers from the channel Ghost Theory, set out on a bold overnight investigation at Brookwood Cemetery in Surrey, England. With over 250,000 graves, it's the largest cemetery in the UK and is known for its spooky reputation. People have claimed to see strange mists and hear chilling cries from women and babies late at night. On June 26, 2024, hoping to catch something paranormal on camera, Joe and Elliot entered the haunted graveyard.
It's horrific. Well, we're actually in here now. We're just trying to find somewhere to camp. Near some tombs, maybe.
Yeah, we kind of want to, obviously we need to use lights somewhat to see where the hell we're going to get.
After a long trek through the thick forest, they finally reach the cemetery just as the sun begins to set. The mood is already eerie, and as they venture further into the graveyard, a heavy sense of dread starts to settle in.
Sort of somewhat set up our campsite. I mean, we're not going to bother with laying anything out until it actually comes to wanting to sleep, if we even bother, because
they set up camp, feeling on edge as strange sounds echo from the surrounding woods. Despite their rising unease, they continue with their investigation, unaware that the night is about to take a chilling turn.
Device that we've put down near this cross here.
can you copy what I just did? You might not actually have to press the button, it might go off by just going near it.
Their first piece of ghost hunting gear is a bell meant to ring if something paranormal gets close. They place it carefully, hoping to connect with whatever might be lingering in the cemetery.
I'm actually amazed at how quiet it really is. Well, I couldn't have timed that any better. Thank you very much.
The bell rings several times, prompting Joe and Elliot to start asking questions. To their surprise, it seems like something is actually responding, each ring becoming more disturbing than the one before.
If that was you, can you please set that bell off again? Can you do it after I ask?
Oh man.
Oh. Are you okay? Can you set the bell off for yes? Are you okay where you are?
Yes. Died in April 1923. I can't see how old they were. Died 101 years ago.
Wow.
Isn't it? 2024 now, 1923.
Yeah.
I just try and...
As the strange activity continues, their anxiety grows. Feeling shaken, they retreat to their tent, hoping to catch a moment of calm. But any chance of rest quickly disappears, as eerie sounds keep echoing from the pitch-black cemetery around them, pulling them deeper into fear.
Can you see that? What?
It's open.
As if the creepy noises weren't enough, a sudden loud bang shatters the silence, drawing their attention to the cemetery gate, now eerily wide open with no one around. Fear hits Joe and Elliot hard, but they gather their courage and decide to check out where the disturbing sound came from.
You're having me on?
No, I'm not. I swear I'm not. I'm not taking the piss. I was in the tent with you.
Well, I know. Did you not open that before?
No. We did go in there, but...
The gate stays wide open, raising a lot of disturbing questions. What or who could have done that? Completely drained from the night's chaos, they decide to wrap things up and try to rest. But sleep doesn't come, as the creepy atmosphere keeps them on edge. When morning arrives and the cemetery prepares to open to the public, Joe and Elliot know it's time to leave. They walk away from the graveyard, still feeling unsettled, knowing that some mysteries might never be solved. Jake Travis from the YouTube channel The Hoggett Project is known for exploring untouched wilderness in Washington state, focusing on camping and outdoor survival. In August 2024, he shared a video about an overnight trip in a remote mountain area. At first, the trip seemed like any other, but as the video went on, things started to take a disturbing turn. After parking his vehicle at the base of the mountain because of the rough terrain, Jake made his way up to find a good, flat spot to camp for comfort. Early on, everything was calm and pretty typical for a camping trip.
Oh, this ground is soft. That might pose a problem.
He set up his tent, started a campfire, and got ready for a calm, peaceful night. But as night fell, something started to feel wrong.
Made a heavy sound over there. Could have just been some old rotted logs settling. But up that way, a couple miles, there is a camp. But I don't think anybody's hiking this way back down. Anywho, I've heard that the red lamp keeps the bugs away. There.
Jake started noticing the sound of branches breaking off in the distance, roughly 100 to 200 yards away. At first, it seemed like a normal thing. Branches do fall sometimes, but what was strange was how the cracking noises kept happening over and over. It wasn't just occasional, it was continuous.
Thinking about it, I'm about to go about my business, then I hear behind me where the creek is, about only 50 feet. I hear a couple more loud crunches, and that's when I stand up and I just shine the forest. Thought I had pressed record something small. Maybe it's like a raccoon or something right there by the water. And as I hit the high beam, this is when I see it. I see something standing there on the side of the road, pretending to be a statue. Whatever this was, decided it was just gonna freeze, and then maybe I...
It sounded like something or someone was moving through the area, disturbing the branches. Then, Jake heard a loud thud behind him, about 50 feet away. He quickly grabbed his flashlight to check it out, but forgot to hit record on his camera so it wasn't captured. When he shone the light toward the noise, he saw a man standing behind a tree, around 6 feet tall and dressed in camouflage. It was a surprising and creepy sight, but Jake stayed calm. Instead of freaking out, he acted like he didn't see the man, packed up his gear, and left as fast as he could. This is Gaz, a YouTuber you might know from his channel Grizzly Gaz. Gaz is a true outdoorsman, always out exploring nature's most stunning and historic spots. He's often camping or van camping, and he's rarely without his loyal dog, Fendi.
I'm in the woods again today, guys. Love a good woodland camp. Sun's shining, but still everything's pretty in here. Not much greenery yet, but it'll come.
On March 25th, 2022, Gaz headed out for another woodland camping trip. It was a crisp spring day. The sun was out, but the trees were still bare from winter. Despite the lingering chill, Gaz was eager for another adventure. After about an hour of hiking through the thick forest, he found the ideal spot to set up camp. As he got lunch ready, chicken tikka rice for himself and dog food for Fendi, everything felt just right. After pitching his tent, he chopped wood for a campfire and later lit it to cook dinner. The forest was strangely quiet, but Gaz felt safe.
I'm on dog's bed with dog's blanket. She's in my bed, look. What's all that about, mate? You've been kicked out of my own bed.
After finishing dinner, they settled down for the night, not knowing that something was about to disturb the calm.
Pitch black. Oh, sorry. Gonna see if there's I had some kids earlier just running about, messing about. So
at about 1 a.m., Gaz was abruptly woken by strange sounds. Faint, but clearly the laughter of children. The noise drifted right past his tent. Feeling uneasy, he grabbed his flashlight and headed into the dark woods to check it out. That's when he heard it again.
My little...
The sound of children laughing echoed through the dead of night, but when Gaz looked into the darkness, there was no one in sight. He wondered what kids could possibly be doing out here, in the middle of the night, deep in the forest. Still, Gaz didn't seem too shaken and kept walking, until the eerie laughter returned, this time much louder. Looking around, he still couldn't see anyone. Unsure of what could be out there in the woods, Gaz decided to head back to his tent and wait it out.
I think that's about enough excitement for one night. What do you think? It's bedtime. Unless all happens during night, I'll see you in the morning.
Gaz remained awake for the next hour, keeping an ear out for any more noises. But eventually, fatigue set in, and the night continued without further incident.
Morning. It was a fairly chilly one last night, wasn't it, mate? Huh?
As dawn arrived, Gaz packed up his tent and made his way out of the forest, still unsettled by the strange sounds he'd heard overnight. Was it just an animal, or were there actually children out there? And if so, why hadn't he seen anyone? Sadly, the mystery remains unsolved. Bear went on a camping trip deep in the North American wilderness, an area often rumored to be Bigfoot territory. What began as a normal night quickly turned into something unforgettable. It was February 6, 2024, a cold winter evening. Bear set up camp, lit a fire, and got ready to relax. But just as he started to settle in, something unexpected in the woods made him question how peaceful the night was really going to be.
Well, you can hear like the wind starting way down there, and you can hear it like coming all the way up through, and like even when it goes up over you, it's pretty cool. You can hear it coming. You guys hear that?
As he lay in his tent, listening to the wind, a strange noise suddenly cut through the silence.
That's a tree squeaking. Sounds like something walking.
He focused, trying to figure out where the sound was coming from. Gathering his courage, he slowly unzipped the tent and looked outside.
Man, it's so much creepier when you're by yourself. And like I said, there's so many frickin' sounds out here right now, making it even spookier. I start getting in my own head.
The icy air stung his skin as he scanned the trees. He didn't see anything, but the uneasy feeling lingered. Trying to calm his nerves, he cautiously walked around, hoping to reassure himself.
Man, I sure hope none of these big trees side on blowing down tonight. What is that? If that moves, I might poop my pants. What is that thing? Man, guys, it is getting cold out. I'm not sure what time it is again. I'm gonna have to check. I gotta get in the tent though. My hands, I should have my gloves on, but whoa.
As he searched, he began to wonder if his mind was just playing tricks on him. After spending some time out in the cold, he decided to shake off the uneasy feeling and headed back to his tent to warm up. But the night's horrors were far from over.
Something was growling out there. I am armed, but man, that sounded scary. Let's see if it growls again. That was scary. My heart's about to pound out of my chest. That was a crazy sound. Lee, Man, what is going on out there? I don't know if I want to be able to get any sleep. Maybe we'll be able to catch the sunrise. I've still heard some weird stuff off camera too. I don't really hear anything right now. I can hear the snow falling now. Like hitting the tent. Now that all that snow just fell off. Alright, I'll see you guys in a bit. Something was scratching the tent. And it walked halfway around it scratching. Something's walking out there. Better to be ready.
Clutching his gun, his mind raced with questions about what could be hiding in the shadows. Every strange noise kept him wide awake. At last, the faint light of dawn broke through the trees. He had made it through the night, though he barely slept, and was left with more questions than answers. Wasting no time, he packed up and left the forest behind. In early January, Bear set out on a solo winter camping trip to test a homemade clay pot heater, but he ended up facing something much more unsettling than the freezing cold. His plan was pretty straightforward. Try out a DIY heater made from stacked terracotta pots, cook a simple meal, and enjoy some peaceful time alone in the wilderness. With temperatures hovering around 30 degrees Fahrenheit and dropping, he set up camp deep in a remote forest, far from any signs of civilization. Even though he was still recovering from the flu, maybe even pneumonia, he was eager to get some fresh air after being stuck inside for weeks. At first, everything was calm. He built a fire, pitched his tent, and set up the heater. The fire crackled, snow fell quietly, and his camera recorded the beautiful winter setting. But not long after, strange, eerie sounds began echoing through the trees.
Right now. You guys hear that?
Do you guys hear that? It's getting closer. It's like something's being dragged. Tell me you guys hear that. Something is being dragged over there. Well, it quit. Nope, there it goes. What in the heck? That was a long drag, like it just kept going and going. But I don't see nothing, but it sounds pretty close.
A disturbing noise came from the woods, at first faint, but growing louder. It was a distinct, dragging sound, deliberate and unnatural. Bear noticed it would stop whenever he moved, only to start again shortly after. This unsettling pattern continued for several minutes, along with the sound of snapping branches and faint footsteps. Later, while exploring a dry lake bed, he found strange drag marks instead of normal tracks, scattered among old furniture and debris. Back at camp, he made some tea and settled in after warming his tent. But as night fell, the forest's atmosphere suddenly shifted. While trying to heat his chili mac, his flashlight began to fail, so he had to place the meal directly over the fire. That's when things took a turn.
Freaking flashlights are all broke. What was that? So I didn't tell you guys, but off camera, I was just sitting here listening. And over there, because right now the light's in my eyes and I can't see nothing over there. But my eyes were starting to get a little adjusted to the dark because I had no lights on. I was just sitting here. It looked like something white. Like I could see, I could make out something white. And I tried to get a flashlight on it, but then it was gone. So that was pretty weird. But I didn't get to see really what it was, but it looked like something standing. It was lighter. Not white, but lighter. Like I could just make out something. It was weird. I don't know how to explain it really. But when I got the lights on it, it was gone.
Bear noticed a faint, light-colored figure in the woods, barely visible, completely silent and undetectable on camera. The quiet presence so close by heightened his sense of unease. Feeling drained from illness and disturbed by what he saw, Bear decided to end his trip early, not willing to risk staying the night. But it was the eerie encounter that left the deepest impact, an unsettling feeling no gear could fix. This marked the end of the episode. A group of campers sets out to explore the forest, but as they venture deeper in, an unsettling feeling starts to hang over them. The air feels heavy, like something unseen is watching. CJ, a seasoned adventurer who's been in these woods before, joins them, but his chilling stories about past experiences only make everyone more uneasy. The deeper they go, the heavier the sense of dread gets.
Oh, is this the tree that fell?
So
He caught it on video. Like he's talking and that tree just falls.
So what happened?
Yeah, oh look, here's a visible circle right here. Look. It's exactly like it was when I was here. I literally untouched.
Do you think this is where they baby?
I don't know, because there's multiple like ritual sites and stuff, but literally, like, watch this. I was sitting there.
Oh! Hello?
Why is my camera going blurry right now?
Because the spirit presence, usually what that means.
Like, no joke.
If there's anyone here that wants to communicate with us, let us know.
Are you here, Eleanor?
I want to show you all like exactly what I did though. So I had my camera set up right here. I had my camera set up right there on the each side of this weird stick. And basically, I was just talking in a circle and, you know, asking if, you know, I don't know how to provoke paranormal things, and then that's when that tree fell over while I was in this circle. And I'm telling you, if you get inside this circle, you will literally feel like a different person until you step outside of it.
I'm good, bro.
I'm okay.
Yeah.
Literally, it's so weird.
I'm gonna take your word for that one. Yeah, I don't know if I want to. I mean, should I? Look how dark it is back
I
here.
brought stuff back to my house doing like stuff like that.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Should I stand in the ritual circle?
I say do it.
You guys think I should?
You know what? I'm just warning you, I've lost cameras doing stuff like that too.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
All right, guys.
Like brand new cameras.
Sorry, Mom. I know you're watching this.
It's like a heavy feeling, like you're depressed. It's so weird.
What if this is where the baby was found? I feel like there's people here or something. So, I mean, I don't know, because, like, we're in the woods. Is it possible that Sasquatch is here?
I don't know anything about Sasquatch. Like,
is it
nothing.
even real?
I don't even know.
I've come into contact with more ghosts than Sasquatch.
Well, I think that they're multi-dimensional beings, and they can kind of come in and out of our dimension like a ghost.
Okay, that makes me feel a whole lot better.
Really? Because
No,
why
not
are we
at
able? Why are we able to see them?
Oh, what the was that? Okay,
Let's go this way.
One of the creepiest legends linked to this forest is about a mother and her child. In the 1970s, a woman and her baby were kidnapped by a couple with sinister plans. The baby was taken into the woods and killed in a ritual. The mother, desperate to find her child, followed them in, but she was never seen again. Later, her car was found abandoned by the side of the road, but she had completely disappeared.
Snatched and abducted her baby right from her arms. They went, put the baby in the car, drove down to one of the forests, and which happens to be this one right here. As bad and as sad as this is to even say, they took the baby into the forest to sacrifice it, and the mother was actually trying to trail behind them in her car. Well, by the time that she got here, they already had, you know, they killed the baby, and I don't know, I just like, it's messed up. But the mother was never found. Her car was obviously had to be removed from the road, but they say that she still lingers in these woods to this day.
As the group moves deeper into the woods, the tension keeps building. Then they hear it, a soft tapping, followed by a strange, unidentifiable sound. Whether it's the spirits of the lost or something far worse, they can't be sure.
She felt somebody tap her, and there was nobody near her. Like,
It was
on
like
her
this.
back.
I thought it was Kristen, like this, like a little tap. Wasn't me that tapped you.
Did you rub up
I was like
on the
2
tree
feet
or
away.
something?
No, I turned around. There's nothing. I really need to do that.
Literally, like, I was recording, and then it just like completely
I heard it.
shut itself off, and the lens pop goes back, like it completely shut off.
I don't even want my back when I went.
Like, I don't even know what just happened.
I mean, there's.
I was steady recording, like I just for like probably 2
Yeah.
solid minutes.
Hey, Kristen, did you bring your EVP thing?
No. Did you bring yours? I
I
don't.
have my EMF meter, but
Yeah, I should have brought it. I always
Y'all,
have
something's
like.
going on over here.
let's go over there.
Seriously.
The heavy, oppressive feeling in the air becomes impossible to ignore. Then things take a darker turn. A figure appears in the distance, standing eerily still. As they move closer, a wave of intense dread hits them.
What is that? What is that right there? Is that a person?
Where?
Where?
Or is that a stump? It's
Right
literally
there?
right in the middle.
DJ, you are freaking
Is
me
that a
out right
stump?
now.
I don't even know what I'm seeing. Like, I feel like I'm looking at a small human.
Oh my.
Where?
Right there.
Like a child.
You see that?
Yeah. Is that where that sound came from?
It came from that way.
It
It came
What
from
is
right
that? It
there.
looks like a statue.
Right there.
It looks like a statue or something. Go check it out. I'm not sure if what we heard right now was an animal. What was that? What is this? Okay, that's another. Oh, that's another tree that must have
I'm
fell.
telling you, dude, my heart was pumping right there,
Why did
man.
we just walk back towards the cry?
I don't know. Let's go back. Let's keep going this way.
TJ, you good?
Yeah, that freaked me out. I literally thought I saw a small child standing.
You know what I thought? Because like none of us were seeing what CJ was seeing at first, but I see it now. I thought he was seeing. I thought he got like possessed and was seeing something.
My light just died.
Your light died?
The camera shakes, its lens blurring as they struggle to process what they've just seen. But this is only the beginning. As time seems to slip away, the strange occurrences grow more intense.
Dude, did we all just catch that tree falling right now? I mean, it's a dead tree though, man. It's a tree.
What are the odds that 2 trees fall?
In the same forest.
Look at that random stick just sticking up.
Sticking in the thing?
Where?
Right
Look at that.
It's just a stick.
Look,
is that an old ritual site? Maybe.
Did you guys smell that?
This is literally the weirdest thing I've ever even felt. This is so clear to me now. I swear to you. There's a stick in the
Yes, and there was a stick in the other tree. Yeah. We walk towards them. Guys, I'm gonna go ahead and start ending this video. What?
I swear to you,
I'm talking about shadow figures. Let's just get to the car.
I can't do this, guys.
Is this the right way to get back? Kristen started smelling a really strange smell right now. Like, can you describe that smell?
Oh man, it was just like really pungent and rancid. Like I can't even.
Like an animal?
I don't know. It was like something I've never even smelled before, and it's making me sick. Like it won't leave my nose. You don't smell it? I feel like I'm going crazy.
Random car seat. You know, when I see things that are like that, I'm like, that was new at one point. Like a car was new at one point, and now it's here, rotting away, being sucked down by the earth. Kristen doesn't feel good. She keeps saying that she's nauseous. She's kind of dry heaved a few times. And to top things off, we're low key kind of lost. I don't think we're going the right way.
Let's just stay together.
Okay. I'm gonna go ahead and start letting you go. Thank you so much for being a part of this adventure here in the haunted Eleanor Forest. Definitely some activity here. I'm not sure
What did they truly witness out there in the woods? Was it just a legend come to life, or something far more real? 401 Files is a UK-based channel run by Ben, known for his work in paranormal investigations. But during his visit to Ellie Kedwards, he was left with more questions than answers. It all began when he arrived at the location on his bike and picked a place to rest for the night.
And I'm gonna be here on my own all night. It's gonna get dark, it's gonna get scary, and there's gonna be strange noises. So, yeah, it's kind of a choice of 2 things. Do I want whatever's gonna freak me out to sneak up on me and do that? Or do I want to be able to see what it is that's gonna me, basically? Can I see myself sleeping in this wood tonight? If I set up in here tonight, I can't move, I can't go out anywhere, I can't explore really, because it's just too dense, and it's gonna be so dark in here. And my God, walking through here tonight with a torch on my own, what kind of crazy piece of would do that? There again, what kind of crazy piece of would sleep on their own in woods with just him and his bike? What to do? It's kind of a choice between 2 things, and both are pretty. Yes, I've just found it, the jackpot. So I walked through the dense woods a little bit and found the clearing I was looking for. Check this out. So it's all green just in this one area where the sun's coming through, and then it goes dense again. So right in that green patch, I'm going to clear all them sticks away and sleep underneath there on that, because that is going to be absolutely amazing. How nice is that? Just because that little opening in the trees has allowed light through, it's created this like a little oasis in the woods, and it's not as dense, just in this little area. Boom! Found it. Guess who didn't bring toilet roll?
Ben wasn't sure where to sleep at first, but he eventually picked a spot. Unfortunately, the worst was still ahead of him.
I'm glad I got a fire going. It was looking like I wasn't going to be able to get one going. Using the old trusty fire steel, and obviously forgot my lighter. So I had to strip some birch bark, scrape some powder up, and use the old fire steel to get a spark and create a flame. Took me ages. I thought I was never going to get there, but thankfully I did, and now I've got a fire going. I should be fine for a little while. So yeah, I'm going to get my inflatable bed blown up because it is getting darker now, and then start settling down and just relax, chill out for a bit. Okay, so I'll just give you a quick tour of my bedroom for the night, what I've built up. I've got all these little sticks to create the perimeter. Got my fire there, my bike obviously. So I'm going to be sleeping here next to the fire, not too close though obviously, because I've got an inflatable mattress and I don't want that to blow up. One lesson that I've always learnt really helps is keep your firewood close to where you're sleeping, because the last thing you want to do is be getting up through the night when it's dark to try and put more fire on the more wood on the fire. And yeah, that's pretty much me. I'll give you another angle. I've noticed that there's a lot of badger sets and rabbit droppings and deer markings, that type of thing. It sounds like a bird, I think, I'm not sure. Anyway, yeah, I've noticed a lot of animal markings on the floor and around the area, so that's another thing to be conscious about, because tonight when it gets dark and I hear some noises, I need to think of all the animals that could potentially be living in the same area as me, walking about doing their own thing, so then I just don't jump to paranormal or mysterious type things. So yeah, that's always something to be wary about, is who else is living in this wood other than me. But yeah, I'll keep you posted. It's going to be dark soon, with maybe within the next hour and a half, 2 hours. So yeah, should be interesting. Mosquito, get off me, you blood sucking. Right, bye. So something else I'm thinking about right now as I look at this is this little clearing just here, and it's instinctively made me think of the Rendlesham Forest case, because this is a very similar setting to what them guys where them guys were stood when they encountered that craft that was stationary on the floor. For those of you that don't know, I'm not sure where you've been, because the Rendlesham Forest case is actually classed as Britain's Roswell. It's a huge UFO incident where countless military personnel observed a craft inside the forest in a clearing much similar to this one. Some of the guys actually even walked around, touched the craft and took sketches of what was said to be hieroglyphic type markings. So yeah, as I stand here now in this opening looking around, that's what I'm getting, the impression of what it must have been like for them guys during that case. And I can't even imagine how scary or what they must have been thinking when that happened on that night. It's said that there was another light source that was believed to be moving in a controlled manner through the trees towards them. That in itself must have been petrifying. I can't even imagine how I would react right now if I saw a light hovering off the floor, moving, weaving in and out between the trees towards me. But them guys experienced this, and I'm stood in now in this opening thinking about how it must have affected their lives, what they must have felt on that night, and yeah, just an absolutely amazing case. And this looks very similar to where them guys stood when they experienced what they experienced. So, missing item number 3, tripod, which is why I'm gonna have to try and make my own little tripod if I want to do these drink reviews. Fuck's sake, Ben. Fuck's sake. I'm walking around in the dark. On my own in the woods. a signal. In my head, I'm saying walk to the track, see if you can get some signal, but that means leaving all my stuff back at the camp and walking through the woods in the dark with just my torch. What the hell are you doing, Ben? You idiot. I don't know how much of me you can see. Let me try my torch. But can you hear that? Wow, it's a good job I know what the hell that is, because I would be my pants right now had I not come across that sound before. It's a female fox, a vixen.
Ben heard weird noises from afar while at his campsite, but didn't pay much attention at first. Later, as he explored deeper into the forest that night, the sounds became louder and more disturbing. Not knowing what they were, he tried to stay calm and rational, but couldn't find any logical explanation. That's when he decided to leave the forest. Man Dog Wild is a channel that usually features tough solo survival trips mixed with a laid-back exploration style, often with the host's loyal dogs. But in this unsettling new video, shot deep in what he calls the Skinwalker Mountains, footage surfaces that might be the strongest sign of cult activity yet.
Bones in the burnt circle is some kind of marker or something else. Whatever it is, it's there for a reason and someone's put it there. So what we're going to do today is head back over there and take a closer look around, because if it's that's there, more than likely there'll be other things there that we missed. Bear in mind it was during the night, so it was dark and we could have just walked straight past some interesting things. So I'm out here today with Yeti, DC and Bali to take a closer look. Just insane, all these flies. It reminds me of a story of the kind of early explorers of Canada, and they were exploring and they were literally driven mad by black flies, and I can totally understand it. I don't know why everything's clean. Everything's clean. As you can see just there, that's the bone marker. And that's where we come out of the woods. Let's just take a look at this, these bones again and see if any of them have been disturbed or anything. Oh, they are now. As far as I can tell, there's just this one was over here. What do you think, DC?
A bone marker arranged in a strange pattern had been found in a remote area. Feeling both curious and unsettled, the host returns during the day with his dogs, Yeti, DC, and Bali. Their goal is to revisit the marker and explore the surrounding area for more signs of ritualistic or supernatural activity. When they reach the original site, they see that the marker is still untouched.
So I followed the trail out to this ledge. I can't see any more markers about. I see nothing. A few rocks. And maybe down there. Look at that. You see that ledge? Looks like something's going on down there. this ledge. Okay. There we got a stone circle with 4 upside down crosses in the middle. Now, they could be attempting like a teepee fire, but I don't think that's what we're going for here. It's interesting. Upside down cross. What does an upside down cross represent? The devil, I assume? Something to do with that kind of thing? If there's black magic like this occurring in these mountains, could that explain all the unusual occurrences, the odd experiences, the high strangeness? And this reminds me of the legend of the Loch Ness Monster, who some believe was summoned through the dark arts by Aleister Crowley. Now, if I believe this is some kind of ritualistic practice, could that then
At the center of the forest lies a stone circle surrounded by 4 inverted crosses placed precisely at each corner. The arrangement is too symmetrical to be random. While it could be mistaken for a simple campfire setup, the presence of inverted crosses suggests something more sinister, possibly tied to black magic or satanic rituals. Some even associate such symbols with stories about Aleister Crowley and theories claiming that similar ceremonies once aimed to summon the Loch Ness Monster. As the investigator follows the trail, he notices more markers hanging along what first appeared to be a basic game path. Yet, the atmosphere grows heavier, more unsettling. His dogs, seasoned companions in rugged wilderness, begin to behave oddly. One refuses food, another halts at a certain spot, and even the most composed of them starts growling softly while staring into the woods. Eventually, they reach a vantage point overlooking the stone circle. From there, the host suggests potential spots to set up camp, not inside the circle, but close enough to watch it unnoticed. The plan is to return at night, stay hidden, and observe if anyone or anything comes back to the ritual site. Sergey's a skilled hunter who's used to going on tough expeditions, sometimes spending days or even weeks out in the wild. One day, a friend told him a story about the Sayan Mountains, a remote, far-off place that's said to be cursed. People claim all sorts of weird stuff happens there, like ghost sightings, dark magic, and creepy creatures. Sergey didn't really buy into those stories, but he was curious enough to check it out for himself. Once he made it to the mountains, he set up camp and spent a few nights getting ready to hunt the Manurian, a kind of deer that some say is haunted. As night came and he sat in the dark waiting, he suddenly started hearing these strange metallic sounds off in the distance. It gave him an uneasy feeling, so he decided to head back to camp, but as he walked, he began hearing voices all around him. Sounds got closer and closer. Sergey realized things were starting to feel serious. He grabbed his rifle, just in case something weird was actually out there. He fired a few shots in the direction of the noise, and for a moment, everything went quiet.
Тихо, братан. Тихо. Там где-то, блядь. А, мы пошли. veniste, улети. Тихо.
Sergei knew it wasn't a good idea to wander through the woods at night, so he climbed up into a tree and stayed there, shivering in the cold. Hours went by with nothing unusual happening, until that eerie sound started up again. He stayed hidden up in the tree for another 2 hours, trying to stay quiet, but eventually the freezing cold got to him. He got a fire going to warm himself up, and thankfully, nothing else bothered him for the rest of the night. Some people might say the whole thing isn't real, blaming the low-quality recording or how the events played out, but honestly, it feels believable to me. And even if it was staged, it was done so well that it's still pretty impressive. What do you think? Do you believe it? A lone camper had gone deep into the wilderness with just his dog. Far from civilization, everything felt peaceful at first, the quiet calm of nature all around. But as night came, things started to feel off.
Hello? Something in the distance? Good girl. Good girl. You stay warm in there, okay? This is getting bad. The vibes are so bad right now.
Trusting his gut, the camper quickly packed up and started making his way out. As he moved through the remote, snowy landscape, the feeling of being watched got stronger. It wasn't just his imagination. The forest that had once felt peaceful now seemed eerie and filled with a tense, invisible presence. Then, he spotted something unusual.
Oh boy. Sometimes I feel like I'm in a nightmare when I'm in this scenario, you know? On my way back from my adventures aren't really the most fun. As much as it seems like it's fun to me, it's really kind of creepy. It legitimately feels like someone's leaving with me. Are you watching me leave? Who is this? This is creepy as hell. Kia, what do you pick up? That's not a good sign. Being this remote actually sucks. It is straight wilderness for miles and miles and miles. I'm so far into a remote area that this could actually end up very, very bad.
As they moved through the snow, it felt like someone, or something, was trailing them. Then, they finally saw it.
That's so weird. A bunch of, like, dog paws, dog prints going up into that.
They spotted fresh paw prints in the snow, circling around, and they definitely weren't from his dog. It brought the chilling thought that wolves, or something else, had been tracking them. Thankfully, they managed to get out safely. The Paranormal Chambers is a UK-based team known for their no-nonsense, on-the-ground paranormal investigations. One of their most popular videos captures their investigation of Cannock Chase, a famously haunted forest in Staffordshire, England, known for reports of ghostly children, shadow figures, and even cryptid sightings. Their method involved doing a daytime walkthrough first, followed by a full overnight investigation with equipment and EVP sessions after dark. As they parked and began walking the trails, they noticed two people emerging from the brush, strangers who didn't greet them, speak, or even acknowledge their presence.
Guys, well, we're back in Cannock Chase. We're just having to do a bit of a detour. We've parked up and we started walking into the forest and two people came out of the other side, and then for some reason they keep following us. So we just walked up one way and they walked up there and they were watching us, so we've waited for them to go off the other way and we've come back down this way, and now we're just seeing if they do follow us or not, so we'll keep you posted. We just thought we'd start the video now. So anyway, welcome to tonight's investigation. Cannock Chase. Not quite started the way we were expecting, but I don't know if it's there now, can't see. No, I think we've given them the slip for now. Oh.
Lots of weirdos around this place, I tell you.
Yeah.
That was strange, that, guys. That was strange, that was. What happened is we parked up, found somewhere where we can go, do a bit of investigating in. And as we started walking, about 100 yards in, two people come walking out the brush. And they started going up, then decided to turn back and follow us. And they were literally on Sarah's shoulder.
At first, they assumed it was just a coincidence, but as they continued, the two individuals began following them, staying uncomfortably close, almost right behind them. Trying not to make a scene, the team took a side path, hoping to shake them off. They stopped to listen, but when they looked further down the trail, the same two people were still there, lingering, silently watching.
All right, again. Right, here's another update. We are still being followed. We just seen them walking down the track behind us. They're probably about 200 yards up from the track. I don't know whether you can make that out, but there's the track up there, and they're just up around that corner. One of them just popped his head round the corner. We are going to stay here until it gets dark. We might be able to lose them. We don't know yet, but as soon as we find a decent opening in the forest, we're going to walk our way in. But at the moment, they are following us, so let's just keep on going, keep walking down. You're getting a bit scared, aren't you?
Behind them.
I'm just going to see if there's any. Can you hear them? You can hear them talking. Can you hear that?
Listen. Very faint. And
yeah, you can hear him talking. I think they're all coming.
Try to be quiet. They might not know that we've gone up this way then.
Hey?
They might not know that we've gone up this way then.
It's a bloody steep hill. I don't know if you can make that track out down there, guys.
They changed direction again, heading deeper into the woods in an effort to lose whoever was following them. As they moved, they began to hear snapping branches and faint whispers behind them. Every time they stopped, the sounds would stop too, only to start again when they continued walking. At one point, they noticed footsteps syncing perfectly with their own, as if someone was mimicking their movements just out of sight, even though they tried to stay calm. They couldn't shake the feeling of being watched. They eventually turned onto a secluded side trail and came across an old makeshift shelter, probably built by kids or past campers. They figured it could offer some cover if things got worse. But even there, the whispers didn't stop. Then came the moment that confirmed their worst fears.
There, I just seen him. Just to the left of that tree. You alright?
Yeah.
What's the matter?
No, I was just checking.
Yeah, you can hear them. They're down on the track.
Just what I looked at though, isn't there? There's like literally miles and miles and miles of forest.
Yeah.
And we choose the small part where there's two bloody weirdos. Like, what the heck? Can't hear it out behind us.
You alright?
Yeah. I keep hearing like heavy steps, but then when I stop and look, it like stops. But when I start walking, I hear it.
They're probably them still following us.
I don't know.
They saw one of the individuals peek out from behind a tree, silently watching them from farther up the trail. He didn't say a word, just stared for a moment before slipping back into the brush. Feeling surrounded and unsure of the stranger's intentions, the team decided to end the investigation early. Their original plan to stay until sunset and conduct a full paranormal session was scrapped. They couldn't tell if the people were just trying to mess with them or had more dangerous intentions, but either way, it wasn't a chance they were willing to take. The strangers never approached directly, but their silent, constant presence never let up. Dave has a thing for exploring abandoned spots, especially old mines. They're his favorite. What began as a peaceful, sunny outing quickly took a weird turn. While walking along a quiet forest trail, he stopped to check out some rundown cabins. They were spooky, but really interesting. As he looked around, something caught his eye, a Jeep way off in the distance, just parked there, almost like it was watching him. He tried to brush it off, checked his map again, and saw he was still on public land, so he figured there was no real reason to be concerned.
There's these remains. We still got a ways to go to get to the mine itself, but this just gives an indication of where the mine was. And the remains, how significant this mine was as well. It's a couple old wood, some metal. That's about it as we keep going up. If you look this way, what's that about? I'll explain some more soon, but just coming up to this cabin, used to be a clothing line. There's another cabin up ahead, so we're gonna drive up and check that one out too.
He kept moving forward, excited to explore more.
Where we're at right now, that's Mountain Boy Mine. It's on forestry land. This is the land maps I used, make sure I keep on, that's private, make sure I keep on public land. I'm on public land right now. All right. See, coming up here, federal mining claim, property of the United States. No trespassing, it says property. Got all the signs. Let's see, wonder if they have a date. I don't see a date. Now we're allowed to walk around it, it just means not going inside. But that's an old miner's cabin. Looking back at the main mine, what's interesting is when you look up this mountain, I'm not sure if you could see it or not, but right here is waste rock. It's kind of difficult to see with all the smoke, but that means there's an adit up there. It doesn't look like a significant amount of waste rock, but definitely more than just a testing pit.
Dave continued his exploration, walking past old miner cabins and noticing signs that reassured him he was still on public land. He even pointed out some old mining remnants higher up the mountain. At first, the forest felt still and peaceful, but that didn't last. When he returned to his vehicle for a quick rest, the same Jeep showed up again. It rolled by slowly, paused, and the driver threw a rude gesture his way before taking off. It didn't feel like just a random run-in, it felt personal. Even after the Jeep drove off, Dave couldn't shake the uneasy feeling. He wrapped up his exploration and left the forest, but one question stuck with him. Was it all just a strange coincidence, or was someone actually following him? On September 17th, 2024, Gizit Official uploaded a chilling video to YouTube documenting a terrifying night spent inside a traditional Joglo-style house hidden deep within an Indonesian forest.
Ini beneran jauh banget teman-teman. Tadi tuh kita keluaran dari bawah sana. Kita survei dulu ya teman-teman ya. Belakang sini sih. Aduh, keterangan ngeri tapi teman-teman. Mantap sih tapi Mas iki. Iki me piye iki? Me piye? Tapi iso mlebu.
The long-abandoned house was believed to be cursed, surrounded by stories of dark spirits, eerie voices at night, and shadowy figures that appeared and vanished without reason. The explorer, joined by his usual partner, Bengali, set up camp just outside the property, fully aware of its ominous reputation. Even before sunset, strange occurrences began to unfold, but they were nothing compared to what happened after nightfall. Choosing not to sleep inside, they pitched a tent nearby to keep a safe distance from whatever might be inside. Unfortunately, that precaution didn't help much. As they tried to sleep, unsettling sounds of movement began echoing outside their tent.
Jadi ini saya belum bisa tidur ya teman-teman. Saya masih menghabiskan kopi ini dulu ya. Kita cek dulu ada teman-teman. Ini saya ganti kamera depan aja teman-teman.
Both men immediately sat up, flashlights cutting through the darkness as they scanned the surroundings. Suddenly, Bengali spotted something, a pale white figure darting across a nearby clearing. Deciding to investigate further, Gessit entered the house alone with his camera. His camera began acting up, the lights flickered and dimmed, and faint whispers started to fill the silence. In one of the rooms, a door slammed shut behind him, even though there was no wind or movement. He then heard footsteps, despite the house not having a second floor, coming from above. As he moved toward the back, an overwhelming feeling of being watched washed over him. His flashlight flickered again, and a scraping noise, like fingernails dragging across wood, echoed through the room. From outside, Bengali suddenly shouted. He'd seen the white figure again, this time staring through a window just feet from where Gessit stood. Gessit tried to stay composed and continued searching the house, but then something happened that completely shattered the moment.
Ya Allah, astagfirullahaladzim. Siapa dia? Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar. Astagfirullahaladzim. Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar. Astagfirullahaladzim. Astagfirullahaladzim. Ya Allah. Allahu Akbar. Pak Ali. Weh. Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar. Astagfirullahaladzim. Maafkan apa ya? Siapa kamu? Astagfirullahaladzim ya Allah. Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar salah. Allahu Akbar. Astagfirullahaladzim. Aduh saya terku. Allahu Akbar. Weh. Weh. Allahu Akbar. Astagfirullahaladzim. Allahu Akbar. Astagfirullahaladzim. Allahu Akbar. Aduh. Ya Allah. Allahu Akbar. Astagfirullahaladzim. Aduh, balik.
Something pressed firmly between his shoulder blades, a deliberate touch. He spun around, but no one was there. Though the pressure disappeared, the uneasy sensation remained. As he rushed toward the front door, it slowly creaked shut before he could reach it. He forced it open and ran outside, only to find Bengali already packing up, urgently insisting they leave right away. Both men quickly fled the area, clearly disturbed and shaken by what had happened. This experience wasn't just about strange noises or fleeting shadows. It carried a growing sense of danger. Whatever was there had been watching them from the start, and by the end, it had gotten close enough to make physical contact. Jasko and his close friend Chris head out for an overnight trip in what many believe is New York's most haunted forest, a location with a dark history marked by real tragedies. Over the years, several bodies have been discovered there, and rumors suggest it might be linked to a serial killer tied to the eerie smiley face theory. They arrive on October 20th, 2024, just before nightfall, giving them a short window to explore and choose a spot to camp.
Now, it is very scary just thinking about the fact that I don't have the Chris does, but that's why we're doing this while it's still kind of bright out. Okay, so this is like a direct entry to the water, I suppose? Yeah. Cool, and that keeps going that way. All right, I'm assuming people have fished here. I see some, yeah, supplies and whatnot. Some very bad things have happened out here. There have even been claims of like a potential serial who used to bring his victims out here, and it's very scary to even think about. There's like one case that's still open. I think it's called like the smiley face. What is it? It's strange.
As the sun sets behind the trees, the tension starts to build. They try to act normal, walking around, making dinner, and chatting, but the uneasy feeling persists. Then, just as they're getting ready to settle in for the night, something unexpected and terrifying happens. A mysterious car suddenly pulls up next to their camper, deep in the woods and far from any main road. The engine remains running, but the driver doesn't get out. He just sits there, watching.
Why is he stopping?
Guys.
What's he doing? Or he's stopping.
Yeah, hold on. He stopped right in front of us. He's literally here. Bro.
What's he doing? What's the driver?
Bro, what the?
Where'd he go?
He's driving off right now, but whoa, what the hell is that?
I don't know.
What the hell was that about? I'm glad you saw that. Bro, the van's on.
Yeah, he just stopped.
Chris quickly grabs the gun, and both of them brace themselves, uncertain of what might happen next. Moments later, the car drives off into the night, leaving behind a thick silence and an even deeper sense of paranoia. At that moment, they knew what needed to be done. No paranormal encounter could match the fear of being watched by a stranger in the middle of nowhere, so they packed up and left quickly. Brazilian explorer and YouTuber Felipe Sena is no stranger to haunted locations. This time, he takes on a spine-chilling challenge, spending the night alone in his car on what's known by locals as the most haunted road in the interior of Hydrolandia. Once a busy route, the road is now worn down, overgrown, and largely abandoned, surrounded by thick brush, creepy ruins, and houses that have been overtaken by nature, or maybe something more sinister.
Uma árvore caída, família. Ela começou assim, ó. Aí, ó. A árvore caída já no meio do caminho. Oi. Deixa eu passar aqui a marcha, galera. Só com a mão, né? Como é que tá aqui, galera? Sinistro, viu? Eu tô até com o vidro aberto. Eu tô com medo aqui, ó. Tô com vontade de fechar esse vidro já. Olha como é que é sinistro aqui o lugar, família. Eu vou mostrar só uma parte aqui do lugar, família. Por quê? Porque senão o vídeo vai ficar muito longo. Só pra nós chegar lá vai ficar meio sinistro, se liga? Eita! A estrada tá ruim, família. Até um dia que eu não tinha andado pra cá. Olha que tem casa assombrada aqui pra esse lado aqui também. Eu acampei aqui no rio, aqui próximo. Não vou mentir pra vocês não, cara. Foi sinistro. Deu medo mesmo assim que eu saí de lá voado. Negócio meio sinistro mesmo. Olha como é que é essa estrada aqui, família. É uma estrada que era bastante movimentada antigamente. Aí não sei o que aconteceu que ela parou de ser movimentada. Ficou tipo assim, não sei se foi porque ficou tipo abandonada, uma estrada abandonada. Só que ela é boa, mas a chuva tá acabando com ela, se liga? Agora lá, família. Olha que tem duas casas aqui na estrada também. Ai não, aqui é a casa assombrada. Bora ver aqui. Olha o carro aqui. Fica de mão também, não, galera? Tudo certo. Aqui. Ó, dentro pra vocês verem. Não sei se vocês viram o relâmpago. Aí, família. Eita, escorregando. Meu tempo todinho nesse lugar aqui, ó. Casa assombrada ali, essas terras. O pessoal fala que é bastante assombrada à noite. De dia também, galera, mas de dia ninguém anda, né? Só eu aí, galera, nesse meio do mato.
Felipe chooses a lonely spot to park, surrounded by open fields and dark looming trees. There are no streetlights, no nearby houses, just isolation. His plan is simple: spend the night in his car and record everything. But as a storm rolls in, the mood shifts. Thunder rumbles in the distance, heightening the tension. Then, the noises start. At first, they're barely noticeable. A crunch here, a slight movement there. Then, out of nowhere, something presses against the car door. There's a gentle tug, a clicking noise. Felipe reacts immediately.
Quem é?
Felipe checks the locks with trembling hands, panic setting in. For a chilling moment, it feels like someone or something was trying to open the door. No one's visible, but every part of him is screaming that something's wrong. His heart pounds as he scans the mirrors, breath quick and shallow. The silence outside becomes heavier, more threatening with each second. Unable to shake the fear, he finally starts the engine. As he drives off, he passes a locked gate he'd noticed earlier. Now it seems less like a way out, and more like it was meant to keep something trapped. Hakan and Nihal, the duo behind the YouTube channel Bizim Aile, usually share light-hearted outdoor adventures, full of nature, camping, and fun cooking moments. The video starts off calm, with the two setting up their campsite for the evening and preparing a meal. They're relaxed, laughing, and focused on cooking, clearly enjoying each other's company, completely unaware that something unsettling is just around the corner. The peaceful vibe as they serve their food is soon replaced by something much more chilling.
Çayı unutursan şöyle koyuyordur. Ver bunu. Denesi gelmez öyle. Elini yakma nasıl tutuyor?
As the evening goes on, Hakan and Nihal chat casually about future cooking plans, the atmosphere still feeling normal and laid back. The mood quietly begins to shift.
Ses var. Hakan, aç abi istersen, bir ses var. Çok ses var Hakan.
That's when Nihal clearly hears something outside, a noise that slices through the quiet night and immediately puts both of them on edge. Hakan tries to brush it off at first, hoping it's nothing, but the uneasiness starts to settle in. The strange sounds don't stop. They get sharper, more unnerving, leaving them both wondering what might be lurking out there in the dark.
Ya ne yapacak şimdi? O sesler ne? Köpek öyle mi ses çıkarır?
Nihal, now visibly scared, urges Hakan to check it out, her worry growing with every unexplained sound. She even suggests he take a hatchet with him, just in case.
Canım bir çıkmayın neymiş yavaş yavaş. Lambayı da al. Al lambayı şurada. Bakın çok bir şey var orada. Ne yapacak ya? Silah da yok.
The uncertainty of what's causing the noises, whether it's just a harmless animal or something more dangerous like a bear or wolf, ramps up the tension dramatically. Hakan strains to see into the darkness, every shadow and rustle adding to the growing sense of dread.
Görmüyor musun? Bir sürü ses var. Ya köpek olur mu? Öyle mi yapar? Bayağı bir sürü ses de. Bak yavaş bir çık da şuradan bak hadi.
Başka bir şey.
Elinde ışık var işte hadi.
Kurtmuşsa.
Uzaktan bak öyle fazla yanaşma.
Daha var mı kurt?
Ya ne bileyim kurtulsa kaç içeri.
Nasıl kaçacağım kurttan?
İyi de hadi içeri gelirse.
İçeri giremez.
Ne bileyim yer mermi çadırı. Hakan!
Hakan tries to keep Nihal calm, reassuring her as best he can, but whatever's out there starts to feel more aggressive. The sounds grow louder and unmistakably close, as if something is circling their campsite. Then it escalates. The unseen presence begins making direct contact with the tent, turning fear into full-blown panic.
Ya bilmem çadırla ne oynuyor? Hakan! Hakan arkanda!
Sus, bağırma sus.
In a chilling moment, Nihal suddenly screams. Whatever's making the noise is right behind Hakan, just outside the thin tent wall. The encounter reaches its peak as the unseen entities start scratching and pressing against the fabric, as if trying to break in.
Ne biliyor ne olduğunu? Resmen çadır tırmaladı. Ay nasıl korktum. İçeri girmeye çalıştı ama ya.
Though the immediate physical threat seems to fade as the noises die down, the psychological effect is intense.
Sen yat ben beklerim artık.
Vallahi ben çok korktum uyuyamam ki.
Ben beklerim bakayım. Gitti zaten herhalde.
Ya çok geldi ya. Bu resmen iyice oynadı.
Yemek aradı bulamayınca gitti.
Keşke silahlı olsaymış. Ben uyuyamam ki.
The back of their tent was clearly ripped, a haunting sign of how near the unknown presence had been, and just how exposed they were. Was it simply a wild animal, or something beyond explanation? The mystery only deepens the unsettling nature of what they went through. While Hakan and Nihil walked away without physical injuries, the fear from such an intense and threatening moment in the wilderness was unmistakable. Stefan de Vries, a popular YouTuber from the Netherlands with a love for all things eerie and unexplained, usually explores places with dark or tragic pasts in search of the supernatural. But this time, what he and his friends went through wasn't paranormal. It was something even more disturbing. They had planned to go camping in the forest of Verdun, a place haunted by the memory of one of World War I's longest and bloodiest battles. Nearly 300,000 lives were lost there, with total casualties reaching over 700,000, a truly heartbreaking chapter in history. But before they even set up camp while heading into the forest, they noticed something strange.
Wat is dit? Waarom loop jij hier? Holy. Hé? Wat de f heb je dat erop staan?
Ja, denk het lijkt me wel.
Hij had een heel raar loopje.
Het is donker.
Het is letterlijk donker hier zo. Gaat hij daar staan lopen? Kijk vooruit. Je ziet letterlijk niks. Hij loopt zonder licht daar. Hij liep ook deze kant op. Hij liep ook deze kant op. Bro, als zo'n guy ineens naast je tent staat.
Dat bedoel ik, er lopen hier mensen s'nachts zo.
Dat is helemaal fucked.
Was het wel een echt mens? Ik was net aan het joken over die soldaat.
Ja man, oh mijn god. De afgelopen 5 minuten gebeuren er weer dingen waarvan ik denk, waarom?
We zijn ineens die auto uit.
They eventually made it into the forest, where they came across numerous ruins left behind from the war.
Ja man. Ik dacht dat ik wat zag. Oh mijn god, dit wordt zo...
After getting a little spooked, thinking they saw something, they jumped back in the car and began searching for a place to set up camp.
Wat de f*** is er in mijn auto?
Oh, dat is zo'n...
Is het de koningin?
Nee, zo'n grote wesp. Hoe heet die dingen? Die heb je in, ja, Frankrijk.
En hij zit in mijn auto?
Cool. Waar is weg? Ja, deze kunnen je achtervolgen, chef.
Dit is
Dit wordt het vannacht. Gaan we dit echt doen?
We gaan nu proberen te kamperen.
Ja, proberen.
Op letterlijk de meest bespookte plek waar we ooit zijn geweest.
Ja. Dit is sowieso het engste wat ik ooit gedaan heb.
Ik denk dat het voor mij ook is.
Ja. 100%.
En de geesten. Nou, daar zijn ze. Die geesten dus. Ja. En dat hier enge mensen lopen blijkbaar.
Ja.
En dat hier allemaal zwijnen en shit.
Ja, gewoon wilde dieren. Hier.
Dat is een mooi.
They finally pitched their tent and headed inside to try out some ghost hunting equipment in hopes of reaching any spirits. Then they stepped back outside to investigate further, and that's when things started to get eerie.
Ik hoor heet dat shit daar, man. Ik zie het. Ja, check dan, check.
They took off right away. Whatever that was, it looked like someone was stalking them, maybe even more than one person. And with their intentions unclear, it was hard not to wonder what they were planning. One thing's for sure, it didn't feel friendly. In January 2013, a couple went on what they thought would be a peaceful winter camping trip, but instead, they ran into something they couldn't explain.
Oh, where you come from? We're in the middle of nowhere.
Well, call me nuts, but I reckon that came from out there. But, well, unless the trees backed it down and... Oh, it's cold. Unless the trees made it echo, I don't know. I've never heard a sound like that before. Well, it did have an element of eeriness, isn't it? Yeah. My phone's back anyway. I don't want to be out here with no phone. So there it is again, do you hear that? Don't go.
While walking through the snowy forest, they suddenly heard a weird, echoing noise. It was deep, rough, and nothing like anything they'd heard before. The sound was so unusual that it made them freeze.
Maybe if we just went a bit further up, we might see something. Oh, this is it. Maybe it wasn't 2012, it was 2013. Oh, okay. It's not an animal, is it? Oh yeah, that was loud. Alright. Hang on, right, turn this off. Oh, this is it. Maybe it wasn't 2012, it was 2013.
Even though they were frightened, they kept going, just wanting to get out as quickly as possible. But the noises didn't let up. In fact, they got louder and more unnerving. It felt like something was out there watching them, and it clearly didn't want them around. They made it out safely in the end, but the experience left them visibly rattled. That sound still haunts them. In this chilling segment, solo investigator Jay ventures into a notorious location steeped in fear and folklore, a swamp hidden deep within a remote forest. Local legend claims the land is cursed. In the 1700s, a woman accused of witchcraft was executed there, and ever since, the area has been plagued by eerie phenomena. Residents have reported seeing ghostly lights, hearing whispers among the trees, and spotting shadowy, human-like figures that disappear without a trace. Some believe the spirit of the wronged woman still haunts the land. Others think something even darker dwells there. Jay arrives already feeling uneasy. He remains in his vehicle for nearly an hour, gathering the courage to begin his investigation. But the moment he crosses the tree line, he's hit with an unnatural chill, despite the mild outdoor temperature, confirming that something in the swamp is very, very wrong.
My heart is racing right now. I have no idea why.
With each step deeper into the swamp, the feeling of being watched grows heavier, almost suffocating. Then, out of the corner of his eye, he sees it. A pale, hairless humanoid figure standing eerily still in the distance. It doesn't move. It just stands there, silently staring. But before Jay can get a better look, the figure vanishes, gone in an instant, leaving behind only silence and dread.
Picking it up or not. Something is... What is that? What the freak did I just see? It almost looked like some weird human thing standing there, and it moved as soon as... Oh my god. I don't know.
Jay vividly remembers the creature's eerie appearance. The forest around him feels menacing, and his body begins to react. His breathing becomes shallow, a sharp headache sets in, and the air feels increasingly heavy. When he tries to make contact using his equipment, he starts receiving fast and disturbing responses.
Demon child.
What? I got that response out here as well, but it was in a different video out in that parking lot. Oh man. Look, there's one of those situations. There's a leaf moving right there, and nothing else is moving. There's no wind at all tonight. Look how still everything else is. Even all those dead leaves right there aren't moving.
Over here.
Whoa, something just fell over there. Over where? Right or left?
Jay begins to observe inexplicable physical changes in the environment. Individual leaves move while everything else stays still. Objects fall without any clear cause, and sudden cold gusts blow through the area. Then, his camera light unexpectedly shuts off, even though the battery had recently been full. Switching to a backup flashlight, he continues on, but the feeling of being surrounded becomes overwhelming. Eventually, he spots a light deep in the woods, far from any people. Its appearance, with no logical explanation, confirms what Jay had feared. He is not alone. Without hesitation, he listens to the forest's warnings and chooses to leave. On January 8, 2025, the UK-based YouTube channel Haunted Finders uploaded footage from what began as a standard paranormal investigation, but quickly turned into one of their most unsettling experiences. Known for exploring England's most haunted and secluded spots, the team returned to a forest they hadn't visited in nearly 3 years, a place infamous for eerie sightings, disembodied voices, and unexplainable events. The forest was remote and expansive, with no homes or traffic nearby. They had to drive miles down pitch-black dirt roads just to get there. Once they set up, strange activity began almost immediately. Faint, broken messages came through on their spirit communication equipment, signaling that something was already aware of their presence.
Spirit Talker. See what we get on this. I'm going to leave the app running and stick it in my pocket so I can use my torch, because it's absolutely pitch black.
Can you come close to us and make these lights go off, please? That's how we know that you're here around us.
You can use the device here in my pocket to talk to us.
Beware of the dark.
Beware of the dark.
Thanks for that. We're in the middle of the forest now.
In the
Could have told
dark.
us down there.
Yeah.
We're on the main road.
Why do we need to beware? Is there somebody here that we should beware of?
A lot of the messages coming through were weird and creepy, warnings about some woman, strange mentions of creatures, and the same phrase over and over, beware. As they hiked deeper into the forest, the vibe seriously shifted. It went from just spooky to downright tense. They started hearing voices, some far off, others sounding like kids whispering just out of sight.
Is there somebody following us? A lot of different people have seen strange things in this forest. Are you one of those things? What was that? A minute.
Multiple times, their equipment seemed to guide them, pointing out which path to take. As they followed those cues, the forest, dark and dense, started to feel less like a spooky place and more like a setup. Then things escalated fast. While shining a flashlight around, one of them saw what looked like a figure in the distance.
Hello? Hello? I just saw you. We're just here for a walk. We're not going to do anything, just shout back so we know you're there. That was a person. Hey?
I wasn't looking that way.
Oh, there's a car coming down the thingy track. What's he doing down here? There's been no cars coming down here the whole time we've been here.
They noticed someone lurking in the dark near their parked car. No flashlight, just crouched in the shadows. As soon as they were spotted, the person took off running. Moments later, a beam of light appeared deeper in the woods, followed by a chilling, high-pitched scream that echoed through the trees.
What? Holy David. Did you hear the woman scream?
Yeah.
He's walking up. He's walking up the road. He's going to the road. Get in the car. Oh, open the door. Get in the car. Get in the car. A woman's just pissed and screamed and he's just creeping down the road, Law. He's there. He's there on the road.
Right, get him, film him.
David, pull off. What do you mean, start the...
Moments later, a strange man emerged from the trees holding a torch. He didn't respond to their calls or even look at them, just silently walked straight toward their vehicle. As fear set in, the team rushed to their car and locked the doors. The man kept walking down the road toward them, never stopping or speaking until he reached the car. Then, without a word, he turned and disappeared down a side trail. Why would someone be alone in the woods so late, not say a word, and show no sign of having a reason to be there? What really shook them was the realization that he'd probably been watching and listening from the dark the whole time, without a flashlight, without a sound. No cars were parked nearby, and the scream they'd heard moments before his appearance only deepened the dread. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you can stay updated with our latest videos.